it's clearly not going to be a silver bullet. There's no easy solution to the complex barriers facing women in Afghanistan. But we hope it will be a lifeline for some women who are able to access this material.
Joe Johnson, thanks so much for joining us. Just explain, first of all, how this FutureLearn programme is helping women in Afghanistan.
Well, there's been an incredibly negative development in recent days, as you will have seen, whereby women have been denied access to higher education, further restricting the ability of girls and women to complete an education in Afghanistan earlier this year when secondary schools were closed off to them. What this is a response to is that shocking move, and we want to ensure that where FutureLearn can make a difference by offering its content to learners in the country, that we remove a financial barrier that stands in their way. It's clearly not going to be a silver bullet. There's no easy solution to the complex barriers facing women in Afghanistan, but we hope it will be a lifeline for some women who are able to access this material.
And so it is free to any women in Afghanistan who want to study just about anything.
Yeah, I mean, FutureLearn has a huge array of world-class content from its university partners around the world. We have 26 of the UK's top 30 universities offering content on the platform, as well as universities in other countries, in Australia and in the US. And what we are offering is to take away the paywall that protects this content in Afghanistan, so that learners there can access this material without cost to themselves for as long as the Taliban are imposing this draconian ban on female education.
As you say, it's not a silver bullet because for many women, there will be difficulties in accessing the internet, in getting into a situation where they can actually focus on their learning and are not being required to do other tasks. What sort of response have you had from Afghanistan? Do you already know about women who are signing up for this?
Yes, the response has been very strong. We've seen a quintupling of enrollments up to yesterday, compared to the normal run rate. And word is really just starting to get out, because we made this announcement a couple of days before Christmas, and when things were very quiet. And it's really only been, Carol, in the last sort of 48 hours that this has really taken off organically, in terms of news traveling around, news getting out about the offer. And that has seen a surge in interest on the FutureLearn platform, and a fivefold increase in enrollments. I mean, I think, taking away this financial barrier is really quite a significant step to widening access, because if you think about Afghanistan, it's got a per capita GDP of roughly $500 something dollars a year, so not a huge GDP per capita. And the FutureLearn subscription is in normal times £200 a year or £20 a month. So it's a very significant financial barrier that we are removing. And we recognise that this is not a silver bullet. There are many other barriers that will prevent women accessing this material. Poor internet access, poverty, meaning that many girls and women are having to work rather than having opportunities to study, and also probably not even knowing about the offer. So it's really great that we are able to get word out through these various channels that the offer is there, that people who access the FutureLearn platform, when they can get access to the internet, will be able to access this world-class content for free.
And have women there told you what it means to them to have the chance to learn still?
Well, the reaction online, because that's really how we've been able to measure it, has been amazing. I think if you go on to social media websites, you will see the extent of the reaction. I mean, there have been tweets about it, LinkedIn engagement that is completely off the charts. One tweet I saw this morning has had over 2 million views alone. So there is a very strong reaction, and this is clearly meeting a very real need. But we are
But is
acutely
there a risk here? Oh, sorry.
yeah, but we're just
But
acutely conscious that this is not a solution. This is a sticking plaster, and a temporary sticking plaster to what is a fundamental problem that depends on the Taliban government restoring rights of girls and women to education on an equal footing with everybody else. This is just a sticking plaster solution, but
and is
just
there a
because we can't
risk,
do everything
Joe?
doesn't mean.
Sorry. And is there a risk, Joe, that this could put some women at risk if they're seen to be flouting this crackdown on their right to education? Is there a risk that they could make themselves vulnerable to a further crackdown by the Taliban, or that this could in themselves that this could and that this program could in itself put their lives at risk?
Well, FutureLearn takes safeguarding of its learners very seriously, and we offer advice to people taking our courses online in our online support center. And this advice includes steps which learners can take to minimize their digital footprint and to maintain their privacy, particularly within the profile that they set up for themselves on the platform. And we do urge learners to take steps accordingly if they think that they are potentially putting themselves at risk by taking our online courses.
What do you think the international community should be doing in response to these moves by the Taliban to deny the rights of women in the country to learn and indeed even to work for aid agencies? And we've been hearing a lot about the effects that that has been having.
Well, there have been, a number of very strong statements by foreign ministers from countries around the world, including the UK. There have been further statements in relation to the steps to ban women from working for NGOs in the last 48 hours as well. And those statements are good. I mean, they're calling on the Taliban to restore inalienable rights to women, to education, and to participation in economic activity. Um, where what we thought was, well, we can make a statement, but we also have an ability to do something. And whilst we recognise that we can't do everything, and we're very far from offering a solution to the problem, we can do something, and we should at least get on and do that.
Joe Johnson, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thanks, Carol.